Hi there, Cherie here from Ashima Living. I'm a naturopath, yoga and mindfulness instructor dedicated to helping people overcome anxiety and low mood naturally and without nasty side effects. And today I wanted to talk about what could be a missing link in your quest to improve your mental well-being and overcome anxiety and depression. And that missing link is inflammation. So first of all, to back it up a little bit, when it comes to depression, the whole theory, which was just a theory, that it's really just caused by this imbalance in serotonin, low serotonin, has not only never actually been proven by the science, but it has now been well and truly debunked. And if anyone wants evidence, I'm happy to post it in the comments after. But suffice to say, there is so much more to it than just this serotonin story. In fact, 60% of patients with depression who are taking antidepressants or receiving psychotherapy or CBT are actually not responding. So there is more to this story, to depression in particular, but also to anxiety and other mood disorders as well. So first of all, science has really been looking at this connection between inflammation and mood disorders for a while, and in a number of ways. The first thing that I guess kind of drew their attention was this correlation between a lot of inflammatory conditions with a higher incidence of depression in particular. So things like inflammatory pain conditions, chronic digestive diseases, autoimmune conditions, rheumatoid arthritis, stroke survivors, diabetics, rheumatoid arthritis, these kinds of things. There is usually a higher incidence of depression in these inflammatory conditions, which you may think, well, maybe it's just because they're feeling unwell, so it makes them more depressed. But the truth is that there is more of a link to it than that. Another thing that scientists recognized was that patients that were treated with a drug called interferon, which has been used in malignant melanoma and also hepatitis C, it actually induces inflammation in the body, and there was a 50% increase in depression in those patients. So the inflammation was induced, and then that in turn induced depression. So it's thought that the antidepressants may actually have some anti-inflammatory effect on their own as well, and this may be some of the reason why they do help some people and why they do take up to 4 weeks to start to have an effect, because it takes a little while to bring inflammation down. However, we do have a lot better, more effective anti-inflammatories and ones with less side effects, both natural and pharmaceutical, than antidepressants medication. And studies have also shown that taking antidepressants with anti-inflammatories, whether natural or pharmaceutical, is a lot more effective for depression than taking antidepressant medication on its own. But obviously always speak to your doctor about this. So where is this inflammation coming from? We know that factors that increase inflammation are also well known to increase depression and anxiety as well. So things like an unhealthy diet. The modern day diet that we eat is incredibly pro-inflammatory. It's inducing inflammation in the body. And studies have shown that a pro-inflammatory diet is likely to induce depression within 5 years. Poor sleep. If you're not sleeping well, that increases inflammation in the body. Sedentary living and lack of exercise. Also, too much exercise can induce inflammation as well. Obesity, smoking, alcohol, they all induce inflammation. High stress is inflammatory as well. And interestingly, the mind can produce inflammation. So if you are someone that is a negative thinker, that ruminates a lot, it's actually bidirectional. Studies have shown that if you're really kind of worrying and ruminating, your inflammatory markers go up, and likewise, if your inflammation goes up, it changes the way you think, and you become more pessimistic and negative and that kind of thing. So they feed each other in a vicious cycle. Trauma, if you've had a history of trauma, whether that be mental and emotional trauma or physical trauma like concussions or injuries or that kind of thing, they actually react the same way. The reaction causes inflammation. And then things like lack of social support, lack of hobbies that you enjoy, these kinds of things increase inflammation in the body as well. So how does this actually affect mood? It's quite broad, and this is why it's important to look beyond just that biochemical serotonin model. However, there is a biochemical aspect to it. So what inflammation does is it kind of hijacks the production of serotonin. So normally we would produce serotonin from an amino acid called tryptophan. But when we have inflammation, some of the chemical byproducts of inflammation prevent that synthesis from happening, and instead they take tryptophan and they produce something called quinoloic acid instead. So you're going to have less serotonin, more quinoloic acid, which is actually neurotoxic to the nervous system. It alters our cortisol regulation, so our stress hormones. It increases our stress hormones. It alters our circadian rhythm, which is the sleep-wake cycle. So again, you can see how it becomes a vicious cycle. You have increased inflammation, it's increasing your stress, making you not asleep as well, and then that's driving further inflammation. It increases oxidative stress. So this is basically free radical damage, which again is going to drive further inflammation. It also affects your mood altering hormones, so things like your thyroid hormones, your sex hormones, melatonin. So melatonin again is important for that sleep-wake cycle. Oxytocin, which is your feel-good hormone that makes you feel content and happy and bonded and connected to other people. So all of these are actually affected by inflammation. And then there is actual neurodegeneration as well. So this kind of degrading of the nervous system, this loss of resilience to stress. Even nerve cell death is increased by inflammation. So you can see it's having very, very broad ranging effects. So just kind of treating it from that serotonin level is not necessarily effective. So what we want to do is take a holistic approach to reducing this inflammation wherever we can, as much as we can, because we have these inflammatory lifestyles and we want to kind of reduce the inflammation on all levels. So that includes definitely an anti-inflammatory diet can go a long way. You can feel better with your mood within a week or two of having an anti-inflammatory diet. I actually have a free anti-inflammatory diet for mental health that you can download. I will link it in the comments of this once I finish going live, or you can send me a message and I'm happy to send it to you. But that has a huge impact. Things like mindfulness meditation. So this is well studied, proven to reduce anxiety and depression, and funnily enough, proven to reduce inflammation. So there's that correlation again. Sleep hygiene, so improving your sleep, making sure you're getting enough sleep, making sure you're winding down properly before bed, limiting blue light from your screens, all those things that enhance sleep will reduce inflammation as well. Gentle exercise, so like I said, nothing too full on like CrossFit or marathon training or anything. Not if you're suffering from mental health issues. But gentle exercise is anti-inflammatory. So things like walking, yoga, gentle weight training, that kind of thing. Social support and connecting with others. This reduces inflammation. Having hobbies that you enjoy. And then of course there is some really good, well-studied natural anti-inflammatories. So both herbal ones and nutritional ones that have been studied for depression and anxiety and been shown to reduce inflammation levels as well, that are very effective for improving mood and calming the nervous system. So there is a lot you can do to improve inflammation, and if you are kind of on a journey to improve your mental well-being, I would say definitely don't overlook this critical, potentially missing factor in your treatment. So I actually offer free 30-minute introductory naturopathic consultations that includes a comprehensive wellness assessment that looks at possible sources of inflammation that should be addressed. So if you want one of those, just send me a message or let me know in the comments, and I'm happy to get in touch with you if you'd like to book one. Okay, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.